What happens when the spirit comes to you? Do they talk straight away?
When spirit comes to me, they sometimes tend to physically put onto me how they passed over. Now, it doesn't mean that they're suffering in spirit, but sometimes they will appear as large as life, the same way I'm sitting here, and they'll just present themselves in the way that and the shape and form as they were before they stepped over into spirit. So that's how they come about.
And Fiona, how do you see them, as in like what happens to you physically when you connect?
When I see spirit, they will appear as they were, and they will also appear as they are now in spirit. If somebody was quite poorly or somebody was quite sick, they will show me that. Or again, they will put that physical ailment onto me in my body so I can feel it. And that's what I'll do, is I'll explain to the person that's sitting with me what's happening to me on a physical basis. But if they come in and it depends again on how they passed over, how they... I'm after blanking, sorry.
Okay, just what you do, just all you got to do is ask the question again.
Yeah, no problem.
To start, when I say, okay.
Yep.
Are you feeling okay? You ready? Okay, roll.
How do you see them, as in what happens to you physically when you connect?
I physically see spirit as they were in their human form, and they also show me how they passed over as well. So they can come in different ways, and the physical body can come through as well. It depends on how long they're over there in spirit, how much healing they've had for themselves, and how much they want to show to the person that's sitting with me. So that's what I see.
So Fiona, what was it like for you as a young child, knowing things that you really shouldn't have known?
It was a very difficult, strange experience when I was a young child.
Okay, cut. So go, when I was a young child.
Okay, see, I'm forgetting that.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay, get ready.
Yeah.
Go.
So Fiona, what was it like as a young child for you, knowing things that you shouldn't have known?
As a young child, I was terrified. And yet I thought everybody could see what I could see. But then, as I got a little bit older, I noticed things that people weren't seeing what I saw. They weren't hearing what I could hear. And it was very difficult as a child to be able to express my feelings and my emotions, because I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was very scared. I didn't want to go to sleep. I always remember not wanting to sleep and asking my granddad, could I have coffee? And he would make me like a beef broth and tell me it was coffee at night time. But again, in a small child's mind, it was very, very scary. And my grandmother used to sit and she'd say prayers and talk to the angels and stuff like that. It was scary.
And how did others react to you?
Well, apart from my grandparents, everybody had a bit of a moment with regards to how other people reacted. My parents didn't really know what to do. I shouldn't have known the things that I would know, and if I said something, I'd be told, be quiet, or I was put out of the room, because it scared other people then, but it really scared me. Being very young, it really did scare me.
So when did you realise you were different, and Fiona, how did it make you feel?
I realised that I was different when I was around 7. When I had what other people would call like an apparition, in the sense of I had this silver being come through the bedroom window, and she would visit me and she would show me things, and it was back then, and going to school and being young, it was pretty lonely to know the things that I knew and not know how to make any possible sense out of them. But it was very difficult, yeah.
And do you ever get scared when you're showing things for others?
Do I ever get scared when I'm showing things for others? Yes, sometimes I do. It's not that I get scared. I would get emotional because I would feel that emotion. And to be shown something for somebody that perhaps isn't to be the nicest of things to come, that has its way of hitting me as well. But it'd be more emotional. I don't be scared. But it's more about the emotion that it brings around and the energy and the feelings, because again I have to explain to the person that's sitting with me what's happening and what's to come about as well. So you got to be tactful, and you got to remember that all this information is healing from that person. It's not just for me, it's only coming through me, so I have to give the message the right way, so it doesn't damage the other person or the spirit.
So Fiona, you were in New York. What was it like to work with the 9/11 housewives?
I visited New York 5 times, and I worked with the housewives from 9/11, which was an unbelievable experience to connect with the firefighters and the policemen that lost their lives and other human beings that lost their lives in that tragedy. But they came through thick and fast with validation after validation, and that's what brought me back to New York. And it was an amazing experience. It was a very heartfelt, touching experience to sit with these women who have lost their partners and their world, literally their world, to such a tragedy. It was very, very healing for them, and it opened my eyes to, again, the pain and the tragedy, and also the healing that can happen after something big happens like that, you know. It was great, but it was lovely, and they were absolutely amazing people.
So what is a guide, and how do they play a part in the life of a medium?
What is a guide? A guide is something and somebody who will have chosen to stay in the spirit world to guide and be a teacher to somebody like me with the mediumship and the automatic writing that I do with spirit. And my guide is my silver lady, who, again, the apparition that came through the window, and she brought me flying, and she brought me to different places and showed me things. She showed me things when I was small that 20 years later I knew exactly what they were. She showed me symbols, so she was there to teach me and protect me and help me. So that was
okay. Cut. We got to do that question again. The iPad.
iPad off now.
I was just laughing at it.
I seem to have nothing.
Was that Siri speaking? you probably hit it. All right. Are we ready to ready to go again?
So that question I'm more
Okay. So
Okay.
all right, real quick. Here we go. Roll.
What is a guide, and how do they play a part in the life of a medium?
What is a guide? To a medium like me, my guide is a very important part of my life. It's not just when I work, but she's an important part of my life. A guide is somebody that has chosen to stay in spirit, to teach and to help somebody that's like me, being the medium, to help me work with other human beings and spirit. She will be the go-between between the spirit world and me. If somebody that passed over in spirit can't connect as well as they should, she will step in and relay the message to me in a way that I'll be able to give it to the other person that's sitting with me. Her name is my Silver Lady, and she's there with me since I was about 7. And she shows me things and leaves a lot of confusion around me sometimes, where I'm going, I don't understand what you're showing me here, what is this? And then something will happen and I'll go, oh, okay, I know what that is now. When I was a child, the things and the symbols and the places that she showed me, 20 years later, those places came up in my life, and the symbols that I got shown all connected with healing and the healing that I do with the mediumship as well. So her part in my life is to help me learn, because I'm learning every day. With each person I sit with, I learn and I grow. So she's there to help me grow. I learn the lessons though as well.
And Fiona, are there any bad spirits?
Are there any bad spirits? Well, I'm not sure about bad, but mischievous would be a good way to put them. You know, they have their moments. Spirit can get very physical. I have been pushed downstairs. I have been pushed into doors. I've had smacks. They can get very physical, because if they get very, very attached to something, whether it's a person, a place or a thing, especially a house, an old house, you hear of people saying, oh, there's something not right because things get moved about. And they're not evil. They're just grounded, and they need to be shown that they're in spirit and they've passed over, and they need a little bit of help to maybe get into the spirit world and realise, oh, I am in spirit and I'm okay. But they can get very attached, you see. And again, it's finding the balance with life, real living, and the spirit world. And sometimes they believe that they're still alive. So that can be a difficult one, but we get through it. We get them over.
So Fiona, your book, This Is Not Goodbye, how did you come to connect with Anna and the other characters in the book?
My book, This Is Not Goodbye, Anna's story. The characters, Anna came to me while I was meditating one day, and she had asked me to write. And I said, I have no problem writing, but I can't type. I'm a one-finger typer, and still am when I'm by myself doing the normal human being thing. But it seems that when I sat with spirit, I was a 10-finger typer, but they would wake me up in the middle of the night. I would sit up, I'd type away, I'd close the laptop down, I'd go back to sleep, wake up, and I would read what had come through. And I was just blown away, because I wouldn't remember anything that had come through. So it's what we call automatic writing, where I give my hands to them and let them do the typing, not me. So it was an experience, and they're wonderful, wonderful characters.
And is there more to come from Anna in the future?
Is there more to come from Anna? There's lots more to come from Anna. She's not done. She's most definitely not done. They've taken a bit of time off. They've allowed me to have a bit of time off as well. But I know that recently my fingers literally have been itching to open the laptop. And we have started. We're halfway through the second one. So when they want to go, I'm ready.
So Fiona, your children, do they think what you do is strange, and what do you like to live with?
My children, do they think it's strange and what I do? I don't think they do. It's just like any other child growing up in a house where their mum or their dad does a job, and this is the job that Mammy does, and they don't pass any great heed to it. They're quite open themselves, so it's second nature for something to move in the kitchen or fall in the kitchen, or someone to see somebody and say, oh, that's only your granddad, or that's just, you know, they know, and they have a great connection with spirit as well. Again, they're only young, and I can be a little bit strange, I would say, to live with sometimes, because I spend a lot of time talking to myself, so they think, but I don't be talking to myself. I'm normally having a conversation with spirit, telling them, listen, this is my time, this is your time. But they do come into the house, and even the dogs see them. Animals see spirit as well. So, but kids are more open. But with regards to what am I like to live with, I'd say I'm okay. I'm pretty cool. Mommy, I hope.
Well, thanks very much, Fiona.
Thank you.